Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's continue the lesson The Snake and the Mirror. Then another lovely thought struck me. I would marry. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. She had to be fat for a valid reason. If I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. So he was sitting and admiring his beauty in the mirror. Then another lovely thought struck his mind. He thought that he would marry. And he would get married to a woman doctor. His wife also should be a doctor who had plenty of money. She must be rich. And a doctor having a good medical practice. She had to be fat. And why fat? For a valid reason. Generally, people want slim life partners or wives, but this fellow wants a fat lady. But why? What's the reason? For a valid reason, which he was thinking in his mind, that if he would make a silly mistake and run away from her, she should not be able to run after him and catch him. With such thoughts in my mind, I resumed my seat in the chair in front of the table. There were no more sounds from above. Suddenly, there came a dull thud as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Surely nothing to worry about. Even so, I thought I would turn around and take a look. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. And its landing and my turning was simultaneous. So he was looking into the mirror and he was completely lost into the thoughts. And he was sitting like that only. There were no sounds coming from above, but sudden dull thud came as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Something had fallen, such type of thud, dull sound came. And he was thinking, there's nothing to worry about. But even then, he thought that let me turn and take a look. But no sooner that he turned, that a fat snake came from the chair and landed on his shoulder. It was this near to his face. Imagine his position. I didn't jump. I didn't tremble. Tremble means shivering. I didn't cry out, means shout out. There was no time to do any such a thing. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm about the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. So, when the snake was very near to his face, he didn't jump. He didn't show any reaction. He didn't tremble even. Means he didn't shiver. And he didn't shout also. Because there was no time to do such thing. The snake slowly he was sitting like a stone, just like a stone, and the snake was moving slowly along his shoulder and coiled around his left arm. Coil in the sense, so it got itself round around his left arm, just above the elbow. So it was on his left arm. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. So this is called the hood of the snake, and the snake was very very near, just 3 or 4 inches in front of the doctor's head. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone, but my mind was very active. The door opened into darkness. The room was surrounded by darkness. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. So it would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. Means the poor fellow was not even breathing, because the breathing movement will deviate the snake and the snake may bite him. So he was sitting like a stone, but his mind was very active. The door was open, but everything was dark outside, And even the room was dark. In the light of the lamp, he sat there, just the lamp's light was there, and he sat there like a stone image in the flesh. It's an image. It's just like he was stunned. He was shocked, and there was no movement. He was something like an image or a photo. But he's a human body, right? So he has flesh. So that's why he said stone image in the flesh. I felt then the great presence of the creator of this world and this universe. God was there. Suppose I said something and he didn't like it. I tried in my imagination to write in bright letters outside my little heart the words, "Oh God." So his mind was very active and he was remembering what? He felt the great presence of the Creator. So he was feeling or remembering the God Almighty and the universe also, which is created by God. God was there. So God didn't like something which I was saying in when he was talking something, when he was looking at the mirror, he said something, no? So he said, he thought that God didn't like something. That's why he sent the snake. So now he's thinking in himself, he's thinking that I should write the letters, "Oh God." There was some pain in my left arm. It was as if a thick leaden rod, no, a rod made by molten fire, was slowly but powerfully crushing my arm. The arm was beginning to be drained of all strength. What could I do? So let's look at the hard words till now we learned. Here, wriggled. Wriggled means moved by twisting and turning. So the snake, it moved itself by twisting and turning. It climbed up the chair. Slithered means moved or glided. Hood, the hood of the snake which I showed in the image, hood like structure on the head of a snake. Molten, heated to a very high temperature. This word will come across later. Let's continue the lesson. There was some pain in my left arm. It was as if a thick leaden rod. Alright, what does it mean? So the snake was coiled around his left arm, so he was having some pain in his left arm. So it was something like a leaden rod. So he was feeling like that it was something like a leaden rod or a molten rod. So his hand became something like a rod. It became senseless. He was not feeling any sense there. Or something was feeling like that it was burning. It was a rod made of molten. Molten means what? So you can see the word here. Molten, heated to a very high temperature. Was slowly but powerfully crushing my arm. So yeah, the leaden rod is compared to what? The snake. So that is slowly but powerfully crushing his arm. Like that he was feeling the pain as something is crushing it. But actually the snake doesn't crush, it just coiled, but he was feeling like that. The arm was beginning to be drained of all strength. It means he was losing complete power from his arm. He couldn't do anything with that arm. Now what could I do? At my slightest movement, the snake would strike me. Death lurked 4 inches away. Suppose it struck, what was the medicine I had to take? There were no medicines in the room. I was but a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. So, what was his position? If he would move a little bit slightly, also, the snake would definitely strike. Why? Because if the snake senses some danger, then it will definitely attack the doctor. So, death lurked. So, what is the meaning of lurk? Be about or lie in wait. So, death was just lying and waiting 4 inches away, as the snake was just 4 inches away. Suppose it struck, he was thinking, what are the medicines I have to take? Everything was going on in his mind. There were no medicines in his room because he was a poor doctor and those medicines may be expensive. and a foolish one without any plan, and also stupid. So he was becoming slowly modest. I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. So, what did he do? He forgot everything. He forgot even the snake. And just imagining about the medicines that he didn't have anything. Now he realized that he's a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. And he himself smiled feebly at himself. Feebly in the sense slightly. It seemed as if God appreciated that. So God must have appreciated himself, smiling feebly. So here we can understand that he has complete belief in God. So as the snake tried to attack him, what his mind thought of is about the Creator. And he thought in his mind that whatever it was talking, the God did not like it. So he thought that God was merciless at that time, and now when he's smiling at himself, God showed some mercy. And what happened after that? Let's see. It seemed as if God appreciated that. The snake turned its head. It looked into the mirror and saw its reflection. I do not claim that it was the first snake that had ever looked into a mirror, but it was certain that the snake was looking into the mirror. Was it admiring its own beauty? Or was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache, or using eyeshadow and mascara, or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? So let's try to understand this. As God showed mercy on the doctor, what happened next? The snake slowly turned its head. It looked into mirror, and as it saw its reflection, it was stunned. And what he was saying that I don't claim that it was the first snake. See, all the snakes look into the mirror, but the snake was certainly looking into the mirror. What was it doing? Was it admiring its own beauty after looking into the mirror? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache? So the snake was certainly looking into the mirror. So the doctor thought that what was the snake doing looking into the mirror? Is it admiring its beauty? If it is a male, is it trying to grow the mustache? Or trying to apply something like eyeshadow or mascara or a vermilion spot? Vermilion means bright red color. So it's sindoor which Hindu ladies put on the forehead, right? So that one. So he was thinking what it is actually going to want to do. So here, let us have a look at some funny pics of some animals looking into the mirror. Here a frog, a monkey, an elephant. I didn't know anything for certain. What sex was the snake? Was it male or female? I will never know. For the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap. From there, it crept onto the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters. So, he didn't know anything that the snake was male or female. Because he may not know it any time because the snake slowly moved from him